There we go, yeah, we are on. So let's make a start. If the video, if it looks like it turns off again, just let me know, but I think it should be okay now. Okay. So when you was a child, you was quite seriously ill. So when did you first notice that something was wrong?
I would be about 12 years of age, when all at once I started noticing that when I went to the toilet to open my bowels, there was blood. And I was very scared of this, what was happening, but also very confused what was happening.
Okay.
And things like this at that time, and in the family that I was in, you didn't talk about such things.
Yeah.
And so I didn't understand what was happening.
So what was you doing? Just finding blood in your underwear, or
also, yes,
yeah.
Yes.
How did you know? Was it when you went to the toilet?
Yes, when I went to the toilet.
Yeah.
But then it got gradually more severe, and it would happen at any time, which I, of course, didn't. Nothing like that was ever talked about. So I kept it very quiet from my parents, and anything of that kind was never discussed. And I was rather confused at that time, because there was talking about my mates that the parents was more open with them. There was talking about girls having periods. And I put 2 and 2 together and made 11, if you like, thinking there was something peculiar wrong with me.
Yeah.
And so therefore I kept it hidden.
Because the only thing that you could possibly think it was that you'd heard about was girls having periods.
Correct.
So you just thought that you was some kind of
freak.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was the only thing I could think of.
How did that kind of make you feel then as a little boy?
Dreadful, and I was living a lie, because I was just hiding it all the time. I was secretly washing my own underwear to keep it a secret, without anyone else knowing. But it got to the point where at school, especially if we were doing physical education, as I was doing exercises, this was getting more and more severe, and I was having to make excuses that I needed to go to the toilet to come out of class and try and clear myself up, because it got quite severe. And then when this went on for about 2 years.
Wow.
And then when I was round about 13, it would be 13 or 14, my youngest sister, which was stepsister, rather, or adopted sister rather, took me on holiday to Bournemouth, and we stayed in a very small hotel, but it was a shared bathroom, because at that time hotel bedrooms did not have en-suites, so it was a shared bathroom. And I had a really, really bad episode, and lost a really lot of blood in the toilet. And people outside, I I was trying to clear myself up in the toilet, but a queue was forming outside for other guests to use the same toilet.
Yeah.
And when I come out of the toilet, I realised all these people were stood there waiting, and I went back to the bedroom and just literally broke down in front of my sister. Crying. And I just couldn't carry on anymore. I just couldn't hide it anymore because it was so severe. And so I was walked to the hospital in Bournemouth, and immediately I was admitted to hospital. And it turned out that the consultant that I happened to be under had also got the complaint that I had, which turned out to be ulcerated colitis. And he told me that it was stress that caused this problem. And it so happened that this consultant that I had was a pilot in the Second World War.
Mm.
And he actually took part in the Battle of Britain.
Oh, right. Wow.
But I was transferred from the Bournemouth Hospital after 2 weeks to Mansfield General Hospital in an ambulance with one nurse in the back with me and an ambulance driver. All that way from Bournemouth, which is about 218 miles, I believe.
Right.
And then I spent the next 6 weeks in Mansfield General Hospital.
Mm.
But from then on, I was in and out of hospital 6 weeks to 2 months at a time, with only a matter of a few weeks in between.
Yeah.
So I missed all my schooling.
From the age of...
From
12,
the age of 13.
13 onwards, yeah.
And at 14, I went in hospital for a long period, and I never went back to school because I was constantly in and out of hospital. So I actually left school at just over 14 years of age. So I missed all my last year of school because the leaving age then was 15.
Yeah.
I started a job at 15, which was very difficult because it was a heavy job. It was a welding job.
And you still had the...
I still had the same problem.
And you were still losing blood?
Yes, but I was under treatment.
What kind of treatment?
Well, it was just medication.
Yeah.
Which was doing nothing for me at all.
Right.
Wasn't helping at all. And then when it got to, I was carried on like this, in and out of hospital, and between going to work, which was very difficult. And at 16 then, I carried on till 16, and then it got so bad, and I had lost so much weight, that things came to a real head. And there's nothing else they could do for me except for an operation. And they did tell me at that time it was either operate or I'd only got 6 months.
Right, yeah.
Which I had a major operation.
Yeah.
Which it took me some time to get over. But then eventually...
And that involved removing a lot of your
intestines and also my lower bowel. I then carried on, and it didn't completely cure the job because with me being so young, I didn't want to have what was called a colostomy bag on my side. So the surgeon promised that he would try and reconnect it, that I would go to the toilet normally.
Yeah.
But of course, with doing that, it still kept so much of the damaged area in. So I continued to lose the blood as I was. And this from time to time again came to a head until I was 40 years of age.
So from having that operation at 16 all the way to 40, you were still living with it on and off?
Correct.
Was you still losing some blood
Correct.
sometimes as
Yes,
well? Yeah.
yes, oh yes. Yes, it never really stopped.
Right.
It wasn't as severe, but it never really stopped.
Yeah.
But I was just over 40 years of age and it came to a head again.
Yeah.
And I lost a tremendous amount of blood.
Where did it come to a head then? Was you at home?
At home, and it was round about 12 o'clock. I was in bed.
12 a.m.
12 a.m. And it came to a head then, and I knew I was in real trouble because it wouldn't stop. So at that time, calling ambulances and that, the service wasn't, it's not good now, but it wasn't good then. I got myself in the car and took myself to the casualty department in Mansfield.
Yeah, so you drove yourself?
I drove myself there, parked the car outside and walked into the casualty department, which they could see something was wrong because I had no colour in my face whatsoever, and I must have looked a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
And just as they was going to get me to go on a trolley, I just collapsed.
Right.
And they very quickly had to lift the foot part of the trolley up so I was at an angle and the blood would go to my head.
Okay.
And they instantly started the procedure of giving me blood transfusions. And that was quite a big thing then, at that age. And that's when I was in hospital and they was going to have to operate again.
Yeah.
They was going to have to operate, and they told me that this particular evening, that the following day they was operating and they would have to cut more out and I'd have a bag on my side.
Yeah, a colostomy bag.
A colostomy bag. And whatever happened that night, which I can't go into detail, but...
You can. I think it's a good story. You should tell it. Yeah, of course.
Right, okay. Whether they still do now or not, but at that time, on every locker at the side of every bed, there in the drawer was a Bible. And it was a last resort, because I knew I was in real trouble. I took that Bible out and opened it, and I read a particular paragraph in the Bible. If I get emotional now, I apologise.
No, I understand.
But I read this paragraph and it seemed to jump out at me. And I put the Bible on my stomach with this page open. And the following morning, things seemed very different. And they came to prepare me for the operation. And I wanted to go to the toilet. And so therefore, they allowed me to go to the toilet in the bed, on side of the bed rather, on what was called a commode. And things was perfectly normal. I went to the toilet for the first time, perfectly normal. No blood, nothing.
Right.
It was amazing. I shouldn't use the word miracle, but it seemed to be a miracle.
Yeah.
And the staff, the nurses, and they sent for a doctor, and they was all quite amazed. And so the operation was called off.
Right.
And from that point on, I have never had any blood appear.
And you're 83 now.
And I'm now 83 years of age.
It's amazing. Can you remember the passage of the Bible?
I'll be blowed if I can now.
Right.
I did know and I kept it in my mind, but unfortunately, over that period of time, which is 43 years, it's gone out of my head.
But in the moment,
it was so relevant to me.
Did you also pray when you had the Bible on your side?
Yes, of course I did.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't brought up in a religious household. But desperate times called for desperate measures.
Yeah, well, divine intervention. Okay, we'll stop the video here.